को विधि कही सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राज पर दीन्हा। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माही, जलधि लांघ गई अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन पल पावे। चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत की तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारी भजन राम को भावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चेतन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, झूठ ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि छेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। जय जय जय
Prem se bole Shimavira Swami ki jai. We join together now, brothers and sisters, in the recitation of the mantras of the Sandhya. The verses will appear on the screen, and we invite you to join together as the Sanskrit verses are being chanted, but also as the English translations are being recited, and most importantly, to perform the rituals as are being prescribed as we go along. We join together now in these mantras.
Om Paramatmane Namaha. Om Paramatmane Namaha. Om Paramatmane Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishabhai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
Let us be saved together. Let us be reared together and united and strengthened together too. Let us not be jealous of each other.
Archman, we visualize water in our right palm. As each mantra is being recited, take your palm, place to your lips, and visualize that you're sipping this water.
Om Amritopastare Namasi Swaha. Om Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. Om Satyam Yashaha Shri Mai Shri Srayatam Swaha.
O God, protector and supporter as you are of the universe, be kind and bestow upon us truth, fame, beauty, and prosperity.
We continue with Archman, and in the same manner, we take our right palm, place to our lips, and visualize we sip the water as we go along.
Om Shanno Devirabhishtaya Apo Bhavantu Pitaye Shamyorabhi Sravantu Naha.
Omnipresent God, be kind to us and grant the happiness and objects we need.
We continue now at purification, visualizing water in our left palm. Using the third finger of our right hand or the ring finger, we dip into the water on each occasion and touch the various parts of the body as we go along. We start one with the mouth.
Om Bhagavad.
Our nose.
Om Pranaha Pranaha.
Eyes.
Om Chakshu Chakshu.
Ears.
Om Srotram Srotram.
Navel.
Om Nabhi.
Heart.
Om Hridayam.
Or throat.
Om Kantaha.
Head.
Om Shiraha.
Both arms.
Om Bahobhayam Yashobalam.
Or palm and back of palm.
Om Karatala Karaprishthe.
O God, let my words, life, eyes, ears, neck, heart, throat, and head be pure and powerful, and arms strong and renowned. Let my palm and the back of palm perform religious rites.
In the same manner as we continue at Marjana, we dip our finger into the left palm and touch the various parts of the body as we go along. We start once more with our head.
Om Bhupunatu Shirasi.
Our eyes.
Om Bhuvahapunatu Netrayo.
Throat.
Om Swahapunatu Kanthe.
Heart.
Om Mahahapunatu Hridaye.
Or navel.
Om Janahapunatu Nabhyam.
Both our legs.
Om Tapahapunatu Padayo.
Again our head.
Om Satyam Punatu Punaha Shirasi.
Now our entire body.
Om Kham Brahma Punatu Sarvatra.
Let Let the region of Bhu help us to purify our head. Let the region of Bhuvaha help us to purify our eyes. Let the region of Swaha help us to purify our throat. Let the region of Maha help us to purify our heart. Let the region of Janaha help us to purify our navel. Let the region of Satya help us to purify our legs. Let the region of Satya again help us to purify our heads. Let Brahma help us to purify every place.
We sit in an upright position, keeping our spine erect. We engage in pranayam by breathing in deeply, and as we exhale, we recite each of the following mantras.
Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Mahaha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Ritam Cha Satyam Cha Abhidyat Tapaso Adhyajayata Tato Ratraya Jayata Tataha Samudro Arnavaha Om Samudrat Arnavat Adhi Samvatsaro Ajayata Aghoratrani Vidhadhata Visvesha Nishato Vashi Om Surya Chandrama Saudhata Yatha Purvam Kalpaya Devam Cha Prithvim Cha Antariksham Atho Swaha.
Tendency for creation arose in the divine mind of the absolute God. Then came chaos, then came subtle water, then day and night. The sun, moon, heaven, world and the horizon were created as were in the previous creation.
Suryopasan.
Om Udutyam Jata Vedasam Devam Vahanti Ketavah Drishe Vishwaya Suryam Om Udvayam Tamasaha Pari Swaha Pashyanta Uttaram Devam Devatra Suryam Ganama Jyotirutama Om Chitram Devanam Urgaranikam Chakshuramitrasya Varunaisyagni Apradhyava Prithvi Antariksham Surya Atma Jagatah Tastu Shascha Swaha.
O God, you are beyond darkness. The luminous sun represents you. Everything in this universe proclaims your glory. The wise are surprised and illuminated by your supreme nature. You have given vision to the sun, the sea god, fire god, the heaven, the middle region, and the earth are being sustained by you. You are the soul of the universe.
Pratna.
Om Takshakshuradevahitam Purastat Shukramucharat Pashyema Sharadah Shatam Jivema Sharadah Shatam Srinuyama Sharadah Shatam Prabhavama Sharadah Shatam Arina Syamah Sharadah Shatam Bhuyascha Sharadah Shatat.
Omniscient God, let us see for 100 years. Let us live for 100 years. Let us hear for 100 years. And let us live for more than 100 years.
We bow our head in reverence as we recite each of the following mantras. We pay our obeisances or respects to Brahma, to the teachers, to the rishis, to the devatas, and to our holy scriptures.
Om Brahmane Namaha. Om Acharyebhyo Namaha. Om Rishi सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः ॐ सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः ॐ सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः
Salutation to Brahma, to Preceptor, to sages, to gods, and to the Vedas.
Once more we sit in an upright position as together we chant the Gayatri Mantra.
ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्.
Let us be in union with your luminous nature, who is the creator of the three worlds and giver of our intellect.
We join in Pratna.
ॐ नमः शम्भवाय च मयो भवाय च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च ॐ वीर्यमसि वीर्यं मयि धेहि ॐ बलमसि बलं मयि धेहि ॐ तेजोऽसि तेजो मयि धेहि ॐ ओजोऽसि ओजो मयि धेहि ॐ मन्युरसि मन्युं मयि धेहि ॐ सहसि सहो मयि धेहि.
Salutation to the Almighty, the giver of bliss, happiness, and peace. May we be blessed with energy, strength, glory, courage, and patience.
Together we now all join in reciting the Universal Peace Prayer.
सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भूयात् सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् नन्दन्तु सर्वभूतानि निरातङ्कानि सन्तु च प्रीतिरस्तु परस्परं सिद्धिरस्तु च कर्मणां स्वस्यस्तु राज्ञो नित्यपः सम्प्रजाभ्यस्तते वास्तु स्वस्यस्तु द्विपदे नित्यं शान्तिरस्तु चतुष्पदे शान्तिरस्तु नो देवस्य भूर्भुवः स्वः शिवं तथा सर्वतः शान्तिरस्तु नः सौम्य भवन्तु भूतानि त्वं देवा जगतः स्रष्टा पाता दैव त्वमेव हि प्रजापालय देवेश शान्तिं कुरु जगत्पते यो मे अध्यास्निहीयते तस्य शिवमस्तु सदा भुवि यश्च मां द्वेष्टे लोके अस्मिन् सोऽपि भद्राणि पश्यन्तु ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरि ओम्.
Let there be good to all. Let all be free from sickness. Let all see good and let none suffer. Let all be happy and fearless. Let there be sympathy for each other and success for all work. Let there be prosperity to the King who protects the people every day and also to the people. Let the bipeds and the quadrupeds be prosperous every day. Let there be peace in gods and in the three worlds. Let us and all other beings have peace everywhere. Creator and sustainer as you are of the world, you encourage godliness and establish peace amongst the people. Who is my friend today? Let him be in peace. And who is my enemy? Let him also be in peace.
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
I'll now invite the teachers of the Bal Vihar class to take the children down to our class this morning. So all children, those of you who are regulars, those of you who may be with us for the first time, we invite you to move downstairs very quietly with your teachers for our Bal Vihar class. We join our palms together for a brief moment of prayer. Hari Om Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansar Saram Bhujagendraharam Saravasantam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Prem Suvalimapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Jai Sitaram, everyone. Let me extend once more a very warm welcome to everyone this morning, those of you who have joined us physically at the Mandir, and those of you who are viewing us online, either on YouTube or on Facebook this morning. We extend a warm welcome to you. For those of you who are with us for the first time, for those of you who are with us after some period of absence, we again also extend a very warm, very cordial welcome to each and every one. This morning, you will permit me a little bit to discuss or have a conversation about something that is not strictly speaking spiritual or religious, but I'm sure you will agree with me that it would be something that is very relevant. This Wednesday gone, the 26th of June, would have marked the anniversary of our Mandir. And we look at it in two facets. The use of this physical location as a mandir, which began on or about the year of 1951, which therefore makes it around 73 years that the Krishna Mandir has been in existence. And this structure that we currently occupied, which was completed in 1987, and therefore marks about 37 years in existence. So the mandir itself has been around for more than 70, if we may put it that way. And it has indeed served as a focal point and as a landmark in the community of San Fernando. How many of you are under the age of 37? Those of you who are under 37, stand. Right, remain standing. How many of you are under the age of 73? Yes, you have to stand. If you're under 73, you have to stand. Right. So despite some creaky bones and some protestations, more than 90% of our congregation would have been not around when the first efforts were made to have a mandir here in 1951. Please be seated. That was also to avoid any falling asleep of the foot and giving you cramp and so on. My questions to you this morning, in the context of the celebration of the anniversary, and this really precedes what we would have celebrated a little bit earlier this month with the Sri Sivak Sabha celebrating their anniversary as well. it is important for us, in all perspectives, to celebrate occasions, not simply for the purposes of celebrating, but for the purposes of reflecting, introspecting, and planning going forward. Whether it is that we are celebrating the anniversary of our marriage, whether it is that we are celebrating the anniversary of some institution or organization, or whatever it is, it gives us the opportunity to pause for a moment and take stock. I would like you all to think about any of our scriptures, whether it is the Ramcharitmanas, the Mahabharata, the Durga Saptashati. And if we were to think about our knowledge and awareness of those scriptures, we are not going to find in those scriptures reference to mandirs and to congregational worship as we do have now. Think about it. Even when we think about, for example, Sita Mata in Mithila, on having sight of Prabhu Shri Ram just before the Swayambar ceremony, it was really an individual type of worship where she went to Gauri Mata and offered her puja. There was no speaking to any sort of congregational worship. So we must ask ourselves, or sometimes we question ourselves, is the coming to Mandir something that is relevant? Is there any meaning behind it? And is it significant in our lives now in 2024? Was it significant back in 1951? And will it have any significance in the future, particularly with the use of technology? That is a question that I would invite each and every person to ask themselves and to answer for themselves. And at some point in time in the not too distant future, we will be soliciting your views as to certain things that you find attractive about the Mandir. And I don't just mean the physical aesthetics, although that's important. And certain things that you find that are a distraction or detraction from you attending. In other words, it's not the pull to the Mandir. And the reason I'm saying that is the Mandir has been in existence longer than I have been. I'm 54. So when the Mandir was conceptualized in 1951, I was not even a thought at the time. My parents were not even married yet. And it came into existence. And it came into existence out of the foresight of Hindus in the San Fernando community at the time, who didn't have the land, but who sought out persons from using St. Madeleine, the St. Madeleine Sugar Company at the time, to seek the use of this land that we occupy. And these lands that we occupy are still not owned by the Mandir, they're owned by the state. It's leased out to the entities. So the lands that we occupy are not ours. But it was the foresight of those foreparents to have a Mandir here. And what was the significance of it at the time? Was it to simply have a formalized Hindu presence in San Fernando? That may have been important because the other established traditions and religions already did have a place here. Was it that they saw the need to cater for the Hindu community, meaning to allow an expression of Hindu tradition and values, to allow that cohesion so that persons would maintain that level of cohesiveness as Hindus and not move away from the tradition? Is it that they saw that they could have made a difference in the community of San Fernando and in the country at large by bringing awareness and appreciation for Hindu tradition and in so doing build our country? I do not know the answers because those persons who would have found it at that time are no longer with us. And the answers that they could have offered to us are no longer there, but they are very relevant. Over the years, this compound and this institution housed many different facets and stakeholders and served many different functions. There was a secondary school, for example, on these premises, known as the Gandhi Tagore College. It was known as the Gandhi Tagore College, and then it became known as the ashram as well. Yes. And we had different principals there who operated and administered the school, including Bhattacharya ji, including the late Professor Harishankar Adesh and others. And those individuals at the time made an indelible mark in terms of that education. And at that time, the education was something that had to be paid for. And the demise of that institution was contributed to in no short measure by the fact that secondary school education became free. And therefore, at that time, when it became free to have secondary school education, the attraction of the premises and so on, where you had to pay to attend, obviously, because it was not run by the government, was something that was no longer there to pull significant persons to make it meaningful. And therefore, that ashram, that college, went into discontinuance. The Sri Sivak Sabha has been pioneering and continues to pioneer in these facilities, in this compound as well, and they are now the ones who are the owners of the building next door, the annex. And they continue to do charitable works and charitable initiatives. The Krishna Mandir itself did not physically occupy a space of east to west as it does now. But many of you would know that the mandir was run north to south. So in other words, if you look at think of the annex, think of an L-shaped part that went the other way, and that was in fact the mandir. So over the years, there have been many physical changes to the structure, to the entity, and to the persons who occupy and indeed who use and contribute and volunteer their services here. But what has remained the same? What has remained the same has been that it provides an opportunity for Hindus and non-Hindus alike to become aware of Sanatan Dharma, to become aware of their traditions, to come to a space that is exclusively designated towards satsang, bhajan, kirtan, and other things that are part and parcel of Sanatan Dharma, such as learning of the arts, whether it be music, whether it be vocals, whether it be dance, whether it be yoga or meditation, Hindi, and at one time Sanskrit. So this compound offers all of that and much more. Many persons would have been married here. Many persons would have had their children and grew their children up in these precincts. Their children would have moved from being mere toddlers running around the place, and we still see toddlers running around the place, and we have no difficulty with that. Growing up into young adults and to young persons, learning music, playing music, and then graduating beyond that and moving beyond these four walls and moving even beyond these shores. But yet continuing to have that grounding and that tradition that the mandir affords. So when we ask ourselves, is there relevance in a mandir? And I could speak from my own personal experience and the difference that this mandir has made in my life. I would unquestionably and unequivocally say, absolutely, that the mandir has relevance, has had relevance, and will continue to have relevance in the upbringing of our young persons and in building our community and our nation. But then we ask ourselves, well, what have been the challenges that have been faced by the mandir? And the challenges have been both internal and external, as with every other organization. There's no organization where you do not have some level of turmoil and some level of conflict. And the mandir unquestionably has not been one of them. But for too often, people have made the excuse that, oh, that mandir that have a lot of bacchanal, I'm not going there. And while that may have had some merit in years gone by, and those of you who are the over 70 age group can bear me out on this, without question in the last couple decades, the mandir has not had any of that. And the president of the Sri Sivak Sabha could bear me out, she's here as well, that the harmony that now exists is unsurpassed in terms of all of the stakeholders of the mandir. What are the pressures and challenges that we face externally? Well, like everybody else. There have been the pull factors away from the mandir. A major deterrent has been the crime situation. Persons no longer feel safe to come out at night. The pandemic has dealt us a very significant blow because persons who were sitting on the fence before got pushed over by virtue of the pandemic to say, well, I no longer feel comfortable coming in an environment and I prefer to sit at home and to view proceedings online. And while there's some benefit to viewing proceedings online, it will undoubtedly not be as much value as if you are here in person. And those of you sitting on the benches this morning, the many of you here this morning, will unquestionably agree with me when I say there is no substitute for coming to a mandir, being in the presence of Bhagwan, feeling the vibrations of this place, hearing the kirtan, and more than that, being given the opportunity to socialize and engage in fellowship with persons who have a common agenda. There's no substitute for it. When you come to Mandir, and Pandit Devendra, when he was going through Chaupai and so on, spoke of one of them, Binu Satasanga Vivekana Hoi. The coming together of persons for good and noble purposes in a collective way is something that is unparalleled. Think about anything, those of you who are engaged in team sports, working together as a team for a common objective, for example, is something that is unparalleled and unsurpassed. When you work together as a family united, again, unparalleled and unsurpassed. When you have an organization that is functioning efficiently, all pulling together, all going in the same direction, again, unparalleled and unsurpassed. The cliche saying is, united we stand, divided we fall. And therefore, as a Hindu community, it is important that we remain united and cohesive at all times. And so the mandir reminds us of that. But it gives us the opportunity as well to have different thoughts and to have different ideas and to share those ideas and to have disagreements, but in a dignified and in an enlightened way, and sometimes to agree to disagree. Because my views are unquestionably not the best views. My views may not be the right views. And it is only when you open yourself up to other views and to be willing to listen to divergent views and to understand the merits of those divergent views that you give yourself the opportunity to grow. Very often we are too comfortable in our own little comfort zone of our own thoughts, and we have no room in our narrow mind for wider thoughts, and that spells destruction. Any organization that doesn't allow itself to grow because of excluding other and possibly divergent thoughts will never, never flourish. And so it's important for us to appreciate that. So back in the decades gone by, when the numbers were smaller, but the devotion was the same, people remained steadfast. This Sunday morning service that we are here at today, and that we continue to attend and that we will continue to nourish and nurture, has been with us for decades. But I would like you to pause and think about other mandirs in this country that you know of. Think of how many mandirs actually have regular services on a weekly basis, where the mandir is open for persons to come almost every day of the week, to come and to sit quietly, to just immerse yourself in that divine energy, or to come and attend classes regularly, whether it be in dance on a Tuesday, music on a Tuesday, Bharatya Vidya Sansthan classes on a Saturday, yoga classes on a Monday, and so many others. How many institutions, how many mandirs allow that kind of growth and that kind of opportunity on a regular and sustained basis? And you are going to be hard-pressed to find that in a very prevalent way. And so it is important for us, as we celebrate our anniversary, to recognize the many accomplishments and the many achievements back from the day of 1951. And if you look at that Vishnu Bhagwan Murti behind me, the one that is right next to the Krishna Bhagwan Murti, that was the original Murti that was installed, where the Stapna ceremony was engaged in. Original Murti, still here. And it's important for us to gain that sense of history and appreciation, because we understand the sacrifices and that spirit of volunteerism that has pervaded this institution. Everyone who serves, each one of you who come, who contribute, who participate, you are doing so solely on the spirit of volunteerism. And that is significant in the context of nation building. It is significant in the context of community building. Very often, and quite rightly so, we have reason to condemn how things are operating in the country. Very often we have reason to criticize how things are going, but we must ask ourselves, are we willing to step forward and step up and make a statement or to do something about it? Or is it simply sufficient to sit back comfortably and talk about it? And that is something that we must reflect upon in this country. And whenever we have the chance to, that we must be willing to step up and stand up for what is right. And to do so not with regard to the expectation of any reward, but to do so on the basis that it is right to do so. And so the Mandir gives that fertile ground for persons to be able to do that. The Balvihar classes that are ongoing is important. And I always feel saddened by the fact that the attendance at that class is so low. And sometimes we ask the question, well, why is it that not many more children are coming out? There are many answers. One of which has been proffered is that people are not making as many children as they used to before. Well, that might be an explanation. No answers to that, but just think about it. But the reality is that those little ones who are not here, whose parents or grandparents might be looking on, you must ask yourself the question, why are they not here? Because it is a well-run, well-structured by qualified teachers, a well-structured program. And the benefit of it will not be seen only today. The benefit of it will be seen 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. And any parent will tell you, the investment that you make in your children will reap dividends for them, for you, for the community, and for the country in years to come. Think about it as an investment. If you were to deposit $5 in the bank, you're not going to get any interest in the first day. Back in the days when interest rates were high and you left it over a couple of years, you got a significant return. Not now anymore, but back then. And the point about it is you were happy when you saw that return on your investment. Children and family life is exactly that investment. And very often the criminality that we see around us now and the deviant behavior and criminal actions that we see around us now are being engaged upon by young people. And young people are the ones who are joining gangs. And we must ask ourselves, why is that so? Is it because institutions like this, regardless of the tradition, are not living up to their purpose? But I'll tell you something. We can have the doors open. We can advertise that we are having a puja, or we are having a satsang, we are having a yagya. But if the individuals and the families don't make a decision consciously that I am going to Mandir because it is important, then our halls and our benches will be empty, regardless of the merit of the product. So when we speak about nation building, the family is important, the places of worship are important, and the schools are important. And once those three institutions operate efficiently, there is nothing that can go wrong. But if any one of those institutions fail, then challenges will be there. And in this country, we have seen the failing of the family unit for many reasons, but we've seen it, and it continues to be before us. I had the opportunity to be at a graduation ceremony on Friday, and I was really, really heartened. It was a Hindu institution. It's a public school that has now just been in existence over 20 years. And the principal there in her address gave the history very briefly about that school. It started off in a mandir because they had no place. Their enrollment now is nearly 700. But what struck me as being very laudable as a Hindu secondary school is that from day one, 20 years ago, their policy was, we are going to be vegetarian, and we are not going to allow any soft drinks in our school. 20-something years ago. Subsequent to that, the government's adopted policy is no soft drink in schools. Subsequent to that. So the value system that our religious bodies and organizations have brought to the education system is something that has been eroded, unfortunately. But the denominational boards are remaining steadfast, and I had to applaud and commend that school. That they are a secondary public school and they still maintain a zero position on soft drink in the school, but more than that, they are completely vegetarian. And that is in keeping with our ideals. Imagine if you have the courage to stand up for something like that, and you are able to have that courage in other aspects, what a difference you can make. Without question, I will still hold that Noor Hassan Ali was our best president. And Mr. Hassan Ali, being a devout Muslim, went into president's office and said quite clearly, this is my belief, this is my tradition, this is my practice, no alcohol. How many of our leaders are prepared to stand up for their beliefs? Or are they fleeing around in the wind as a matter of convenience? And it is when you grow your children up in institutions and in practices that allow them to have that strength and that courage and that fortitude that you see the difference later on in life. So as I conclude this morning, I want you all to think and to respond in the future when we ask you to. What is the relevance of the Krishna Mandir to you? That's question one. And the answer could be, there's no relevance, and that's fine, if that's the opinion that is held. What is it in the mandir that draws me to the mandir? Is it a song that is being sung? Is it the music that is being played? Is it the opportunity to interact with the person who sits next to me on the bench? Is it the opportunity to come forward and to perform arati? Is it the opportunity to sit and perform hawan or puja? What is it that brings me to the mandir? And similarly, what is it that keeps me away from the mandir? And I'll say to you, it should never be that somebody is keeping me away from the mandir. Because this mandir doesn't belong to any one person. It belongs to every one of us. And I've had the good fortune of seeing the records and the archives of this mandir. When people would have given 25 cents at the time, that was a lot of money. They would have given $1, that was a lot of money. Other persons who could have afforded would have given $100 simply for building, maintaining, and continuing the work of the mandir. So it's no one person's mandir. It is everybody's mandir. Are there things that you would want to see the mandir doing that is not currently being done? That is another question, and we will ask your response on that. And are you willing to give of your time to see those things get done? Because unfortunately, it is always the case, and it is not peculiar to the mandir, that the persons who step up and stand up and actually do the work are sometimes very few. And therefore, if we want to see building and growth taking place, then we must be prepared as well to give of our time. I'm sure every one of us here this morning could have found ourselves and found in our hearts something else to do, something else that we could have said is more important. But you made the decision to come here, and to come here this morning and to bring your families here. And you must ask yourself, why did I do that? What was important enough for me to take the time and effort to be here? And those are important questions, brothers and sisters, that we must ask as we move forward, as we celebrate other anniversaries, as we celebrate the accomplishments. And as I say that, I want to conclude finally by congratulating all of the students who got their results in the SCA exams, and I invite you to give them a round of applause. I will not single out any particular student, but I will simply say congratulations to all, because I am always of the firm belief that it matters not what secondary school you pass for. What matters is the values that you take with you from your primary school system, but more importantly, what are you prepared to do in the secondary school system as a student, as parents, and working together with the teachers and the administration? I went to a so-called prestige school, and I will tell you, back in the day, and you know my age, I'm 54, there were challenges in that school as well in terms of discipline. Our whole class got expelled. We were that bad. So it's no different now. What was different was the input of the parents in that, the input of the teachers in that, and the input of religion in that. That is what is important. And that is what is missing, unfortunately, from many of our state-run schools. I just want you to think about something for one moment. United States of America, a country that many people worship as the best thing since sliced bread. Well, maybe not after the last presidential debate, but anyway. They have now gone full circle. And in Louisiana, they have now mandated as law that every public school must have the 10 Commandments displayed. That's law. In Oklahoma 2 days ago, as law, in every public school in that state, it is now mandated that Bible studies be taught. Think about that for a moment in terms of the full circle that that society has come. From totally ignoring God and moving God away completely from life to now recognizing that mistake and trying to bring it back in. We have not fallen prey to that kind of thinking, and pray God we never do. So it is something that we must always bear in mind. Religion and spirituality is invaluable in having a forthright society. So before you come forward and do arti, and in that spirit of talking about all of the values of the mandir, I will now have the begging part of it. The 7th of July is our major fundraiser in the form of a Bhajan Amrit. We're all aware of that. And that Bhajan Amrit, some people wondered what it is about. It is an opportunity for you to donate towards the mandir. So certain sheets have been given out. They are, in essence, donation sheets. And during the period from 8:30 to 12 o'clock, Mala, am I right? 8:30 to 12. There will be continuous singing of different bhajans by different groups. So next week, Sunday, when you come, you won't be hearing me. There will be no puja performed. But we will have devotion through the medium of kirtan. There are different talented artists who are given of their time and their expertise to come and to render bhajan in praise of Bhagwan. And we will have different artists who are here, including Rana and Susan Mohip, including Sundari Naresh. Oh, here we have a wonderful image up so you can see it. So there are different artists who are coming, running continuously from 8:30 until 12. So we invite you to come. If you can't stay for the whole time, then as much of the time as you can. Bring your family, join together, clap and so on. What do we want you to do when you come do? To be here. But we will be reserving 7 parks at the front there, so that front area of the mandir will be kept cleared. So as artists come, they could pull in and park, offload their instruments and so on, and leave and allow a next group to come in. So the security will advise you to park in the school compound, which is open for the whole morning. Secondly, we will not be having arti up on the altar because the groups will be set up there. So while they are singing, we will not be allowing any arti taking place. So if you want to perform your arti, please come before 8 o'clock and perform your arti then or do it after, but not while the singing is going on. We would ask you to be gracious hosts, as I know that you are. So if you see persons who are not familiar to you, who are coming to the mandir for the first time, whether as part of the group or otherwise, so please extend our usual San Fernando hospitality. And Chris could tell us all about San Fernando hospitality. He's the best. He lives in North, but he knows San Fernando is the best, right? So wonderful San Fernando and Southern hospitality, so extend that. We will be having meals that will be served after 12, so lunch will be provided for everyone. So bring your family, you don't need to cook on that day, and please join with us for lunch. So those are some of the things we would want you to be reminded about. Am I missing anything, Malo? No. Right. Next week as you join with us. And importantly, if you haven't had the opportunity yet, and if anything that I've said this morning has given you that inclination, then please give generously in terms of that donation, because we rely exclusively on your solicited donations to keep the mandir running. At our last AGM, the treasurer disclosed that we were in deficit for about $50,000 for the last fiscal year, and that is given all of the circumstances. The electricity rates are going and they are where they are, security, overheads, all of the things that we have to do to make it a comfortable environment is there. We also are challenged now because of security issues, and we have to address that as well, in addition to the charitable initiatives that we do engage in on your behalf at all times. So if you are able to give, we urge you to do so, and to do so generously, whatever you can. And you can see Mr. Gangadin Sinanan, our chairman, after, and you can give your donations or pledge your donations accordingly. I hand over to members of the group now, and I invite you to come forward with your families. You're going straight up to the altar to perform your arti for the next 20 minutes with this. So, Jai Sitaram.
प्रभु जी सुख का सागर है, सुख करता दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी सुख का सागर है, प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी सुख का सागर है। जीवन एक उलझन है, बातों में न बस जाना, जिस राह में राम मिले उस राह में बस जाना। एक बार जो शरण में आता, एक बार जो शरण में आता, वो भूलन आत्मा है, सुख करता दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है सा परमात्मा है। सुख करता दुख हरता पावन परमात्मा है। प्रभु जी प्रभु जी प्रभु जी सुख का सागर है। प्रभु जी प्रभु जी प्रभु जी सुख का सागर है। सुख का सागर है। सुख का सागर है। सुख का सागर है।
ज्योति ज्योति गैया ज्योति ज्योति ग्वाल।
छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल।
छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल।
छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल।
1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल।
अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल।
1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल।
अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल। छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल। छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल।
1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल।
अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल।
आगे आगे गैया पीछे पीछे ग्वाल।
आगे आगे गैया पीछे पीछे ग्वाल।
बीच में मेरो मदन गोपाल।
अरे बीच में मेरो मदन गोपाल। छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल। छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल।
1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल।
अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल।
काड़ी काड़ी गैया घोड़े घोड़े ग्वाल।
काली काली गैया घोड़े घोड़े ग्वाल। छोते ग्वाल
1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल
अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल
ज्योति ज्योति सखिया मधुमन बाल
ज्योति ज्योति सखिया मधुबन बाल
रासड़ जावे मेरो मदन गोपाल
अरे रासर छावे मेरो मदन गोपाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल छोटी छोटी गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल
अरे 1400 मेरो मदन गोपाल
घर अंगन को बस जालो प्रभु राम अवधपुरी आए घर अंगन को बस जालो प्रभु राम अवधपुरी आए आई सीता माता प्रभु राम अवधपुरी आई सीता माता प्रभु राम अवधपुरी आई घर अंगन को माता को
So I'm filling in this morning for the PRO. Again, we extend thanks for everyone for being here this morning and for making that conscious decision to join us at the Mandir. We look forward, and I've been taking pictures so I know who's here. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next Sunday as we join together in our Bhajan Amrit. And if I don't see you, I will be calling you. So we're looking forward to seeing all of you with us next week, Sunday, for Bhajan Amrit. Again, those who would like to sit on a Sunday morning to perform either Hawan or Puja, you can see Mrs. Sharma Umrao, who is rest to my right, and give your names, and we can make the necessary arrangements. Those of you who would like to make donations or contributions, you can see any member of the management committee or chairman and give your donations. Regular activities each and every week would be music classes on a Tuesday, yoga class on a Monday from 5:30, and BVS classes on a Saturday. So be reminded of all of those. Finally, the members of the Sri Sivak Sabha will be having their AGM this Wednesday, that's the 3rd of July, from 4:30 p.m. So all members, you are invited to attend that very important meeting. It's the annual general meeting of the Sri Sivak Sabha, and it will be at 4:30 this Wednesday right here at the annex. This concludes our announcements for this morning. Those persons who may be celebrating birthdays, those persons who may be celebrating anniversaries, and our president of the Sri Sivak Sabha, Mrs. Tiwari, celebrated her birthday last week gone, so we extend belated birthday greetings to her. And to all those persons who have been successful in their SEA exams, and Varada, I am speaking specifically to you this morning, we want to extend congratulations to you all. Please, let us now stand for Aarti and for closing prayer.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Jai Jagadish Hare, भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख बिन से मन का, स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहो किसकी, स्वामी शरण गहो किसकी, तुम बिन और न दूजा, तुम बिन और न दूजा, आश करो जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम पूरन परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन करता, हम सेवक तुम स्वामी, हम सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति, किस विधि मिलो दया में, किस विधि मिलो दया में, तुमको मैं हरे दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे अपने हाथ उठाओ अपने हाथ उठाओ द्वार पर तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा स्वामी पाप हरो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा प्रेम बढ़ाओ संतन के सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे तन मन धन सब है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा तेरा तुझको अर्पण तेरा तुझको अर्पण क्या लागे मेरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संगत दास जनों के संगत क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे
Hari Om. We join our palms together as we close in prayer. O Prabhu, we've come before you this morning as your children with all humility, with all love, and indeed with all devotion. We've come before you in complete surrender to seek your blessings, to seek your protection, to seek your mercy. We pray this morning in a very special way for our brothers and sisters in Tobago, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in Barbados and in Grenada, and in the accompanying islands who are now faced with the threat of Hurricane Beryl. May you provide them with that mercy that they would be protected from any damage, any loss of life, or any difficulty. We pray for persons who may be ill, those persons who may be in the hospitals or in the nursing homes. We pray for persons who may have lost their loved ones, that you provide them with that strength and with that solace and with that comfort. For you, O Lord, are mother, you are father, you are family, you are friend. You are knowledge, you are wealth, you are everything to us. We surrender ourselves to you. We join together in one voice. Hari Om. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Seka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Devam Om Asatu Ma Sargamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, प्रेम से बोले श्री सच्चे सनातन धर्म की जय. Chanters around you, सब कोई जय जय सीताराम. May Bhagwan bless you all. May you have a very powerful, a very productive week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you all with us next Sunday. Jai Sitaram. One of our devotees, Vidya, has some little bags or packages for the little ones. So if you could just make yourselves available, she's distributing those now so she could identify you.